Welcome back to Yoshi Entertainment, everybody. So just recently, Shannon Sharpe has landed himself all up in the headlines because he got into an altercation with some players from the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, first of all, before we get into that, I just want to draw attention to this. What is that, a cardigan that he has on? I don't know if this is like a patchwork denim cardigan that he's got going on. Not to throw any shade at denim, because I do love denim, but I ain't never seen nothing like that. But anyways, back on the subject. I just couldn't tell what it was, what in the world he was wearing. But anyways, so a lot of people have been saying in the sports, world, in the sports corner, the sports industry, if you will, that the Grizzlies have a reputation, allegedly, of talking a lot of smack and being real disrespectful to other basketball players, and that they can dish it, but they can't take it. Now, some of these basketball players, they might act aloof, but I'm pretty sure they're aware of some of the stuff that people like Shannon Sharpe and other people who are in sports news who talk about this kind of stuff. I'm pretty sure they're aware of some of the stuff that's being said around them. Otherwise, the stuff what happened with Kyrie Irving, and whenever, I forgot what his name was, said what he said and all those other people were coming after him, none of that would have been all publicized, and other basketball players wouldn't have been coming to his defense. But anyways, so I also heard that they even got into it with LeBron James on the field. There's a video out there. He was about to go at him because they had just, I guess they said one too many disrespectful words, you know what I'm saying? And LeBron James is an older veteran basketball player, if you will. I believe he's deserving of respect, especially from these younger men, these, millennials and these like young Gen Z fellas, but they weren't trying to play that way, you know what I'm saying? And they had gotten into it with LeBron James, and a lot of people were like, listen, when you were talking smack to them other guys, we wasn't really paying attention, but then when you mess with LeBron James, then now we got a problem, so they kind of overstepped their boundaries, I guess. Now, if I'm not mistaken, on a segment that Shannon Sharpe had, before this happened, he had made some sort of comment to the effect of, the Grizzlies that like to talk a lot of smack, but their, basketball skills or something like that, their work doesn't line up. You can't be out here talking smack and you ain't really playing ball like that, right? So he said something like that, something to the effect of that. And like I said, don't ever get it twisted. They be listening, okay? They be watching. So they were probably already upset about that. Let's just be honest. Then he said something to the effect of that Dylan Brooks should not have been guarding LeBron James. And that's, I think, where it really started to pop off at. Now, as you can see, he put it all on Twitter. Well, somebody put it on Twitter. The whole statement that he made, that he said that, he ain't have no business trying to guard him because he was too small. The young man said, I'm not about to say that. And then he said it back to him. And then that's when they really started to come at it. And he was saying, hey, come at me then. And he wasn't supposed to cross that line now. So that's why he was pointing at him saying, you need to come at me if you got a problem with me, since you want to talk smack and cuss me out over something that I said. Come and get me then. And then the whole team rolled up and everybody was saying, well, where was the other team or whatever to like, defend him or whatever. But I think that they were in the back because it was like halftime or something like that. But anyways, I just, after seeing the whole fight, it just didn't make sense to me. Why these grown men were fighting, over what? I don't even understand. But a lot of people were saying that they were, I don't want to say impressed necessarily, but they were happy that he stood his ground, that he said, y'all talk a lot of smack to people, but y'all don't want to back it up. You don't like when people talk smack back to you. And if you got something to say, come say it to my face. And he stood his ground on what he said. He had something to say, and a lot of people agreed with it, apparently, allegedly. And he wasn't about to take it back, and they got mad, and the best thing they could do is say, F you, basically. Then that's childish, So a lot of people were happy with Shannon Sharpe for standing his ground, A lot of people, they have their issues with him because he is controversial and he's always doing and saying stuff he ain't got no business doing. But, they were happy that he stood his ground. It meant something to them that he didn't back down from what he said. Now, you would think they would have just left it at that after the altercation was simmered down, because, like I said, if y'all saw that video, they were trying to wrap them up real fast to keep them from throwing punches and from a fight breaking out. I wouldn't have got in between them because some of them dudes are huge. Y'all, some of those dudes are giants. I ain't no way I would put my health and safety at risk trying to stop them from fighting. I just would have let them duke it out, okay? I wouldn't have let them all pounce on Shannon Sharpe, but I've been like, if you want to fight him, then take it outside and duke it out. We'll all turn our heads, or somebody will watch so that it won't get out of hand. But I'm not about to break up no fight between no two grown men that's bigger than me, even if I was a dude, because y'all not about to get me sent to see Jesus via left hook because they want to be crazy, okay? But anyways, They couldn't just leave it at that. Everybody was mad. Well, not everybody, but some people were mad because they were saying, now, if this was some average Joe, y'all would have escorted him off the premises after that fight. But they let him come back after the halftime. And so a lot of people, they weren't too happy about that. And they couldn't just leave it at that. No, 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 no. They went and interviewed Dylan Brooks and inquired of him some things about Shannon Sharpe, and he had the audacity to call this man a blogger. And of course, Kendrick Perkins took to his Instagram account to call him out for calling him that, because he's more, of course, than just a blogger. I mean, that was very just childish and petty, I feel like, of him. I feel like somebody should have been big enough of a man to bury the hatchet and let it go, or issue an apology, be like, look, it was heated, somebody might have been drinking allegedly, and some things were said, some things were done that we don't agree with, we don't always stand with, and we're just gonna leave it at that. A lot of people didn't appreciate the disrespect towards Shannon Sharpe from these young men, because he is an elder in the community, so to speak. He has some great achievements under his belt, and they just didn't like it. They don't like the fact that these younger guys, they don't believe in respecting elders and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But I can understand why a lot of people just thought that this was just a ridiculous scuffle. Some words, like I said, were exchanged, some fighting words, but we don't always have to resolve it like that. But like I said, people appreciated Shannon Sharpe for, standing 10 toes down on what he said and not letting them, try to chicken him, so to speak. Like when you play that game of chicken and then, they try to make you, you know what I'm talking about. But anyways, this was some hot mess, if you still ask me. Anyways, I bet not ever hear none of these football players talking about women are catty and messy and gossipy and that they like starting fights over mess, because that sounds a whole lot like them now. Anyways, y'all let me know what y'all think and how y'all feel down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you all.